Theoretically, we're live now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no, I hate theoretical.
In the theories.
That's where bad stuff happens.
Guys, this is Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monkeys Jack. Say hi, Jack. How you doing today?
Hi everybody. I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm happy. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's good.
We went yard sailing today, Jack.
Oh yeah? I was thinking of doing that tomorrow.
We only saw one yard sale that I would say was worth going to. And that's just because they had a shit ton of toys, man. This little kid is like selling all of his stuff, and he clearly has parents that spoil the shit out of him.
Nice.
He had 2 giant bat caves, and they were different. These things were like 3 feet tall. Yeah. And he had stuff for the younger kids too. Like he had the really nice Paw Patrol truck. I don't know if you know what that is.
Nope.
It's a giant truck where you can play with all of your characters inside of it.
Oh yeah, like I've seen play sets
long.
like that. Yeah.
He had the Paw Patrol base, also sitting about 2.5 feet tall. This kid was spoiled rotten, and good on his parents for doing it. But that was the first one we went to. This guy was clearly just like, well, I don't want that anymore. And it should have gone in the trash. He was a really nice guy. But I did not feel bad at all walking away from that one. Like, oh man. You're not look, we all know, at yard sales you get rid of stuff you don't want anymore, but not your trash.
Yeah, my garage sales are somewhere in the middle. Like, if it looks like it's probably on the edge of broken, it's a quarter.
Oh, there you go.
I had a garage sale once, much to the great dismay of my parents, where everything was a quarter.
Nice.
I just put up a sign that said everything's a quarter, and somebody said, "How much is this?" Quarter. Like, well, this is worth more than a quarter. Then give me a quarter.
There you go. Sell it for more.
Yeah, it was great. I made like $20.
Oh, damn. Very nice.
Yeah, I was very happy with that.
The only part that bugged me is there was, for the first time going yard sailing, there were a lot of really good books, but I can't read books anymore.
Oh, yeah.
My eyesight's just too fucked up for it. So I was a little sad about that. You want to tell, this is what really made me sad today. So I went to sleep around 5:30, woke up various times, finally crawl out of bed at 12:30. And my breath punched me in the nose, dude.
Oh, that bad, huh?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck did I eat? I ate B-dubs. And
oh, nice.
Then I forgot to brush my teeth before I went to bed. Whoopsie. But apparently Buffalo Wild Wings, specifically the honey barbecue, you let that fester in a mouth for 7 hours and you'll pay for it.
Well, everybody around you will pay for it more.
Well, everybody around me was asleep, thank God. So yeah,
just wake them up with your breath.
Just reach over, honey.
No, just whisper B-dubs.
Oh. Now it makes me wonder what the hell is in that sauce.
Yeah,
because that shouldn't be possible.
Should be, but here we are.
That was maybe I need to start saying prayers, because that was some unholy shit that came out of my mouth when I woke up.
Apparently.
Oh, anyway, now I'm minty fresh. Speaking of which, one of the yard sales we were at was selling toothpaste.
Yeah. Not that uncommon.
They had toothpaste, underwear, and an entire box of weather blankets that come in little pouches.
Oh, like those emergency blankets?
Yeah.
Nice.
And when I say an entire box, there must have been hundreds of them in there.
Well, that's some survivalist shit there.
Why you ever need that many?
They were MacGyver and building an airplane out of nowhere, toothpaste and emergency blankets.
Man. Anyhow, thank you, Frank. Can we trust Tulsi here? Well, we'll get into that. I suppose we should start in on the news. People are tired of hearing about my bad breath, Jack.
I don't know. I mean, we could keep talking about garage sales. I have some serious horror stories from doing that shit.
We can come back to garage sales later. Let's get into the news because we had a couple of bombshells. We missed yesterday's show. Sorry about that, guys. That's all on my back. No excuses other than sorry. But we've had some bombshells in the last 2 days, Jack, and one of them was Tulsi Gabbard.
And it's a mystery. That was just a fragment sentence to dangle out there and get you guys excited. He'll be back eventually.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
But I'm going to disappear for just a second.
Okay, he's switching internets. Now, you can tell by the way that I walk that I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. I got nothing. What's up, everybody?
And I'm back. Sorry about that.
Hey, evil one.
All right. So if you don't know what's going on with Tulsi Gabbard, just hang in there because we're going to start with Mark Warner's comments on this. He said that Tulsi Gabbard is not competent, Jack. Senator Mark Warner, a Democrat from Virginia, vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee on Friday, bashed Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. Remember when you weren't supposed to question the intelligence agencies, Jack?
Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago. Hey, don't question their assessments. They're always correct. But apparently now it's okay for Democrats to question these folks. Anyway, says Tulsi Gabbard is not competent to be Director of National Intelligence. I believe she is trying to politicize the workforce and work product, and that makes America less safe. Can you imagine a fucking Democrat whining that the intelligence community has been politicized?
There's a level of irony there that I'm not prepared to deal with at this hour.
This motherfucker should have burst into flames saying that.
Well, it's curious how he can type while his pants are on fire.
Right? Maybe you got a stand-up desk and it makes it easier.
I guess. All these intelligence community clowns coming out are just such hypocrites.
Well, he is very mad about this from Tulsi. Their goal was to usurp President Trump and subvert the will of the American people. No matter how powerful, every person involved in this conspiracy must be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And she links to a DNI document. New evidence of Obama administration conspiracy to subvert President Trump's 2016 victory and presidency. And this is specifically, Jack, about the supposed Russian interference in the 2016 election.
Yeah.
I want to throw this out there before we get into the meat of this. The timing on this is a little sus to me, just a little bit. And I'll tell you why. Because she didn't give us anything that I feel like, oh, she just learned this.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Trump has had a bad week. Now,
yeah,
politicians do this. They try to change the news media. That doesn't necessarily mean that what they're trying to change it to is false. That's a whole different matter. I think this is genuine. Excuse me. This is a genuine assessment. But the timing of it, I do feel like either they were holding this back in case they needed it, or they decided to rush forward with it because of the way the news cycle was going over all the Epstein shit.
Could be both.
Could be both, yeah. But either way, that doesn't actually diminish the charges here. And they provided evidence. There's a December 6th, I believe, is the number. The date, the number. For real, Frank? A December 6th, 2016 memo for the president's daily briefing where they're like, yeah, Russia tried to get into, I think it was in Illinois, one little tiny precinct, and they tried to do it elsewhere and it didn't really work. And there's no material evidence that there was anything that they managed to do. And yet they decided to keep pushing that fucking retarded narrative. Massive, it's your birthday. Around here, we do this. And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Massive Dynamics.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one, my friend. Really, really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so basically it's stuff we either had already gotten glimpses of or suspected, but the whole Russian narrative, there was a time when the Russian narrative first starts up where they're like, they didn't really accomplish anything. Even with social media, their social media presence. Like, look how 1,000 people saw this one ad from the Russians. If you added up all of their supposed influence gleaned through social media, it got less attention than one of our streams.
Yeah. We have more reach than the entire Russian.
Yeah. And so
that's so sad, dude. Like, they should be embarrassed by that.
Oh, they really should. That got acknowledged for about a day. And then suddenly you have this huge push. Weird, came from the White House, where you suddenly like they interfered. And the reason Mark Warner's so upset is because the Senate got in on that. Like, oh my God, we're going to have hearings about the Russian interference, which, by the way, if you watch that, there's a whole lot of it where they tell you it was a bunch of nothing.
Yep.
But they still played it up like, oh my God, can you believe what happened? Oh my God.
Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
They give us money.
And Mark Warner was on the Intelligence Committee at the time, so he is implicated in this as well, because this was a conspiracy, this was a cover-up, and we know it was.
Oh yeah.
And Tulsi coming out and delivering some of the proof is duh. But my bigger problem here is with the Senate and with the House and basically with Republicans, because it is amazing if you compare what happened with the 2016 Russian collusion and the January 6th stuff. How many Republicans have ran out there and went, yes, the Russians were trying to interfere? It was most of them, Jack.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing with January 6th. Like, I washed my hands of this stuff without ever actually looking into what happened. Real quick, over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much. Carelessly whispering Obama, thank you. And again, trees and feet have got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool. I should have known better than to cheat America and waste the chance that I've been given. So I'm never going to dance again the way I danced with Trump. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That is so romantic.
And I'm never going to dance again. I love that song.
I know, it's catchy as shit. I do prefer the other one, Father Figure.
I do like Father Figure. Father Figure's great. My favorite song of his is Freedom 90, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that song, and I don't know why.
It's a catchy tune, but that's not even in my top 5, I don't think, for George Michael or Wham.
I like the message in it of becoming who you really are. Granted, in this case, it's him talking about becoming it's talking about being a gay man, but I don't have a problem with that. But the overall theme of it, I think people should be themselves. Stop being so worried what everybody thinks. Because most people don't think about you all that much. You care more about what people think about you than they think about you.
That's
by a lot.
True. Unless you have a really good stalker.
Yes. And look, I've had a couple of those in my time.
Right? How's ZFBO doing?
That's like, I, with my issues and stuff, I trip all the time or fall or whatever. And I just get up and go on with my day. I don't even think about it again because I'm sure I saw this dude trip. It literally has no effect. I don't get embarrassed that way.
No, after a while you get used to it.
I just don't even care. Anyway, back to our DNI guy here. The the way that the Republicans, anytime there's a scandal, immediately jump on the Democratic side of things really bothers me. And this is another reason I think that maybe this got pushed out because of the stuff going on with Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're Donald Trump, it wouldn't be hard to look at how the Republicans are acting and go, oh, they're just going with the Democrats again. Because they've done it so many times. Now, in this case, the Democrats weren't leading that charge. That's the difference, Mr. President. But we do see this over and over and over. We see it on like abortion, Jack. Like how many of the Republican females in Congress, whether the House or the Senate, make sure to tell you on a regular basis that while they're against abortion, we do believe in it for all the reasons that the Democrat healthcare should still be your choice between you and your doctor. Uniparty. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't necessarily believe in the uniparty in the way that it's been presented. I just think Republicans are giant pussies.
Yeah, they don't want to win because then they're the underdog and they fundraise off being the underdog.
Yeah, it might have the same exact effect, but I do think that the motivation is important. I think they want the press to love them. I think they want to be seen on the right side of history. That's why they all jumped on the January 6th stuff as hard as they did, and some of them still do.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, hey, the violent people should go to jail, which we've always said. Like, they look at all the criminals that happened that day.
All the murders.
Yeah, basically ruins Liz Cheney's career. And whether you guys like it or not, Liz Cheney actually voted with Trump more than most of the people who support Trump publicly. But she let this get in her way because she had to be on that right side of things. Now, the media is going to love me for this. I think they're all just media whores, Jack.
Oh, I agree. A lot of them are in it for that reason only, the accolades and the attention they get.
Russian collusion was bullshit. I'm shocked. I know, Dangerous. I know. It's it shocked me too when I found out.
We're all surprised.
It is disturbing to me, though, that our government does this and gets away with it. I mean, again, we knew very early on that if there was any interference by the Russians in the 2016 election, it was minimal. And yes, all countries interfere with each other's elections if they have any kind of interacting stuff, Jack. Whether you believe it or not, the Russians, the British, the French, all of them have a preference for who our president will be based on how they think it's going to help them.
Of course. That's just good national security.
In the 2024, maybe it was in the 2020, you had British politicians coming out and telling the American people who they should vote for.
Yeah,
how many hearings were there about British interference in the American elections?
Zelensky was campaigning for Harris.
Yes. But where was the Ukrainian interference in American elections?
Yeah, notice that's not brought up at all.
No, they never bring this shit up because they don't actually care about it. But this was something that they could go, look, Trump bad. I've said this about Trump way more times than I care to repeat, but you don't have to lie about the man. There's enough there that you could have genuine disagreements or dislikes of him without having to make shit up. You don't need to do that part of it. Speaking of make shit up, dude, let's go to this one. Donald Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch, a couple of journalists, and News Corp.
Yeah.
For
this ought to be interesting.
$1 billion.
Go big or go home.
This is some Dr. Evil level shit right there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just in the amount, not in him doing. I support him doing this 100%. I've had a lot of conversations recently, Jack, with people who are like, Donald Trump keeps suing and he's just trying to silence his critics. No. The reality there is that Donald Trump has a legit reason to sue a whole bunch of people.
They keep giving him reasons.
In this case, the Wall Street Journal decided it would be a good idea to publish a story about a birthday card supposedly sent by Trump in 2003 to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday.
Yes, which is supposedly bound in this book of cards or whatever, like letters that were sent to him that year.
It was put together by Ghislaine Maxwell as a special gift for Jeffrey. Look, we all know what kind of special gift she got for Jeffrey, and it wasn't a book of people saying happy birthday.
Yeah.
But supposedly, the Donald Trump card, hand-drawn, there's the silhouette of a naked woman.
Oh, nose. No, not boobies.
Inside the naked woman is a fake conversation back and forth between Trump and Jeffrey, where Trump says to him, keep up with the secrets or have more secrets or something like that. It is just, I said on Twitter, I don't understand why they would run with this, because it's just too perfect. Because the clear implication here is that Trump was like, keep banging little kids.
Yeah, the wording on it is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So
my favorite part of the article, though, is that Donald Trump's signature acts as the silhouette's pubic hair.
Yeah, that doesn't seem on brand for Trump.
Does it seem on brand for pedophile? You know, if I'm Trump and I'm trying to wink at my pedophile friend, is there pubic hair involved?
I would say no. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a pervert.
Yeah, but that's
not that kind of pervert anyway.
There's no corroborating evidence for this, and
they've never even seen it from the sound.
No,
it's just. By the way, the writer of this, or the reporter on here, is also the one behind the Stormy Daniels reporting.
I'm not shocked by that.
Yeah, to me, that right there was enough to throw some benefit of the doubt in there. Like that, if you're at a court trial and somebody's like, oh yeah, it's the same person that overly exaggerated something nobody else could prove either, then I'd be like, I got some reasonable doubt right here.
You know where my reasonable doubt comes from? Supposedly, this is a hand-drawn silhouette of a naked lady drawn by Trump himself. Yet the stuff written there is typewritten.
Yeah, the stuff's typewritten, and that drawing could have been added later by somebody else.
In the article, they even let us know that there's little marks to show where the boobies would be.
Yeah. I'm not buying this, man.
Me neither.
It's way too convenient. The wording is awkward at best, and it doesn't sound like Trump. So I really don't understand why they ran with this. The only doodles he's known to do are skylines for some charity event. So
Cannibalistic says the card is as real as my parents' love for me. Fuck, dude.
Ouch.
Now I want to give you a hug.
Yeah, that's oh man, that's so sad.
Wow. Anyway, no, this card is bullshit. At least make it believable.
Yeah, if it was a little bit more subtle, like it lacks all subtlety on every front. So I don't know. Maybe they fell for this, like Raymond said, it might have been a scam that they fell for because they wanted to believe it. You know, like the tax returns thing. They're so desperate for that gotcha. But this is a defamation case, and that is not a good excuse in a defamation case. Oh, it's not a good excuse in any case.
The reality of this is that this was shoddy reporting, and I don't think they expected to get sued, Jack. I think they expected to get called out for it, and then they would just go away. But
yeah,
our media, this is part of their propaganda. They love to give us stories that they know are bullshit.
Yeah.
And then pretend that they never said it. And then the social media folks, the assholes I argue with, your mom, your friends at work, these people see it and without ever digging any further, they're like, I saw it in the news. And it becomes a real thing, whether it was real or not. it's a propaganda plea.
Yeah, they've gotten away with this for so long that only in the last few years have they ever had to fork any money out. And even then, it hasn't been that much. A couple $1 million to most of these companies is really pocket change.
I'm throwing the link to the full lawsuit if you guys want to read it. It's in your chat now. But I want to move on to SE Cup because she said this. Do execs and other C-suites at Paramount, Disney, etc. understand that they're putting lives at risk by capitulating to Trump, offering him tribute, buying his favor? She's talking about the people who have settled with him because they're like, oh, we're probably fucked in court. I promise you, if CBS and Disney could have gotten away with this, they would have kept fighting. But they saw the changes coming. And there's a whole nother aspect to this. Nobody wants to be the people who overturn the New York Times decision. Because the reason that you're allowed to basically lie about public officials is because of a lawsuit brought against the New York Times. Goes all the way up to the Supreme Court. And this is where we get the nonsense that defamation is different if it's a public figure.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be the ones that end up getting that precedent reversed. Because one, it was a bad ruling. Sorry, it was.
Oh, it was terrible.
We should all be, yeah. The people will sit there and tell you there should only be one layer of justice. Be like, I can't believe Trump is suing for defamation when they lied about him publicly and knew it.
Yeah, but why is there two-tier justice why are celebrities being punished because they're famous? That doesn't give you permission to lie.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of news organizations that would go out of business if defamation counted the same for everybody.
Oh yeah, the entire tabloid circuit would be shot if that standard is changed.
Faithless says fucked in Discovery. Yeah, there's that part of it too. And Kyle says lives at risk. Yeah. Actually putting lives at risk by suing people who defamed you. And the people in charge going, yeah, we're just going to settle this shit because you clearly defamed him.
Yeah. How are lives at risk? Like, is somebody going to lose their job and then it cascades into losing their house? It turns into a country song where they lose everything and then get all sad. Like, I'm not sure I'm following the logic there. Like, lawsuits kill.
She goes on to say, the dumb settlements for suits they could easily win. Okay.
Okay.
If they could easily win it, they wouldn't have settled.
Yeah. You think Disney doesn't have some of the best lawyers in the country or on the planet for that matter? Are you high, lady?
Thank you, Dangerous, who says, my favorite thing I've seen on Twitter is all the people saying the Wall Street Journal wouldn't just make this up or report on an unverified claim. Oh, my sweet summer children, are you serious? Oh, right?
Yeah.
How many people ran with the Covington kids with Nick Sandman and his evil smirk?
Oh, but it was a sinister smirk, Monkey. He was casting evil wizardry spells on that Indian man, that Vietnam veteran.
How many of those stories said that the Covington group got in what was his name? Nathan Phillips? Got in Nathan Phillips's way, when in fact he purposefully walked into them and it was on fucking video available at the time.
Yep. Well, look, Nathan Phillips, which by the way is the most Indian name possible. He was just a brave minority out there chanting some cultural thing, no doubt. And these people, the planet rotated and moved them closer to him.
Yes.
And he was just walking in place when it happened. And he was violated that way.
Vince says there's no profit in defaming anybody not famous. There shouldn't be profit in defaming famous people. I get what you're saying. Goes on to say, it's basically, I'm paraphrasing you. Basically that, that's what people care about and how you sell things. True. If it's you and me, Jack, and they defame us, nobody's really going to buy a newspaper over that.
Well, I'd like to pretend it would, but
sure.
a stick man and a Chinese man wearing a monkey hat getting defamed are not front page newsworthy yet.
Yet. We'll get there.
Yet. I drew that stick man, and you can't see his ding dong, so suck it, Wall Street Journal.
When it gets down to whether or not I understand why they do it to celebrities, why they do it to famous people, because it sells things. The problem, though, is that they shouldn't be doing it to anyone. And this is part of the reason that we have all of these unnamed sources these days is for this very reason.
Yep.
So they go, no, this unnamed source told me so, and another unnamed source backed him up on that. And then they can claim that they did their due diligence and never have to provide any proof of that.
Yeah.
Frankly, let me finish reading her thing, and then I'll get off on my other tangent there. These dumb settlements for suits they could easily win make it impossible for journalists to do our jobs. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, is your job just lying to people? Because if that's the case, then yeah, it might.
The only way those things make it impossible for you to do your job is if you're admitting you go out there and defame people.
Yeah, that you go out and make crap up for a living. You shouldn't have to worry about getting sued for lying. What?
Keister, Jack was not saying that he was Chinese. Many people say my avatar looks like a Chinese man wearing a monkey hat. I don't see it, but everybody else seems to. She finishes with this. He'll sue the Wall Street Journal now, and because CBS and ABC settled, he's claiming he beat them. Thanks. You set a precedent. He wins. Journalism will lose. All right.
He did beat them. They paid.
He did. And what Stephanopoulos said was provably false. He was defaming. And if you think journalism will lose because you're held to the standard of truth, you're not involved in journalism. You're involved in activism.
Yeah, I mean, maybe yellow journalism, but definitely not journalism.
No. But go ahead.
Thank you, Evolved Potato. Off topic, but I just saw a video on Twitter about how a tow truck driver targeted ICE so they could tow their cars in the middle of a raid. And apparently the company proudly admitted it, claiming it was illegally parked. So they're probably fucked. Yeah, you're interfering with a federal operation.
Yep.
You do not want to do stuff like that. You'll go to federal scary jail. Like, that's federal pound me in the ass prison. And ICE isn't going to fuck around with that.
Bubba just said, my brain just decided not to let me use my mouth properly. A lot of the job of journalists is to influence the reader to be on the right side of history. That's what they think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly.
My side tangent I wanted to get off on is that I think we need laws about releasing sources. I'm all for free speech and stuff. That's great. But especially in a case of like defamation or something like that, you should be required to produce that stuff. And there's a lot of people who think that journalists should have some kind of blanket shield. No, we need to hide our sources. The mafia is going to come kill them or something if they find out who they are. No. When you're out there, especially if you're talking about something like national security or something like that, and you have somebody running their fucking mouth, tell us who they are. You should not have some kind of fucking privilege. And they don't, actually, Jack. No, courts do not uphold the anonymity of sources because it's not a real fucking thing.
They tried to do some kind of shield act in like New York, but I don't think it's ever really worked.
It doesn't stand up in federal court. You're right. State courts, there are some states that have done it, but in federal, there is no federal protection for sources like that. You have whistleblower acts, which are for official reporting and not running out to S.E. Coop here and going, hey, I know some stuff. I made it all up, but you won't check, so who cares?
Yeah.
there isn't and shouldn't be a right of journalists to protect my sources. Fuck you. If it becomes a legal matter, those sources should be open to all of us to know who they are. Are you still sharing the lawsuit, or is it only stuck for me? Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to share her thing. My bad. I was probably still sharing it. I wasn't paying attention to what I was sharing. Thank you for getting my attention on that. But there's S.E. Coop if you want to see her. Cup. I'm not sure how you say her name.
It's Cup.
Keith Olbermann jumped in on this and he said, understand, don't care, money over everything else. He's named in the lawsuit. He's not actually named as a participant in the lawsuit, but Trump in the lawsuit. Here, look, I actually switched it back to the lawsuit for you. There's a part of it, and I don't know if I can find it real fast. He names a whole bunch of places where this was disseminated, and one of them was Keith Olbermann's Twitter page. He names off. Oh, yeah, here's the list of all of the people who reshared it and how many people. There's Keith. Trump to Epstein per Wall Street Journal. May every day be another wonderful secret. That's the part. Like, come on, that didn't tip you off.
Yeah,
that is so blatant.
It's such a strange thing to say in writing to a co-conspirator. I mean, that it is too perfect. It doesn't sound like Trump's vernacular.
No, it really doesn't. But yeah, this is something the Wall Street Journal ran with, so they deserve to be sued for it. And any press outlet out there is like, I can't believe somebody's going to be held accountable for lying.
Yeah, unless they have some authentication on this, they are in big trouble. This is going to cost them a lot of money.
Yep. And I don't think the 10 billion is good, because he's not less than 10 billion, Jack. That's the minimum he's asking for.
Yeah,
it'll probably be a couple.
Of course.
Yeah, it'll be a couple $1 million. But I mean, they're going to have a hard time proving that they really thought this was real.
I bet he's going to use the Alex Jones case as precedent to get the billion.
Could, yeah.
Because, I mean, that'd be kind of funny. But, yeah, I think that's why he's going so high, is he wants to punish them for being dumb. Because I just don't see any. They didn't show any real evidence that this is real. They didn't even show us the actual thing. They're just telling us like third-hand source material.
Yeah, they just described it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us see it for real. I mean, I'd love to see how Donald Trump's signature turns into pubic hair, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, if it looks like that, you need to shave. That's some untended lady garden material there. But they're going to have to get, like, Trump's got the money to pull this off, too. But you get an authentication expert for autographing. You could carbon date the paper, for God's sake. There's all sorts of things you could do. Was the drawing done by somebody else? Because you can verify all of that stuff. There's an actual, like, handwriting experts out there that can do all this crap. So I think they're in some real trouble if they can't produce the original.
Am I the only one who thinks maybe they didn't produce the original or a facsimile of it because of the George Bush story that took down Dan Rather?
Well, apparently the original is in the possession of the DOJ.
Sure.
So they could produce it if they wanted to.
But they suddenly got the entirety of it. Man, real quick, Dangerous, thank you. The job of a journalist is to tell us what is true, and we decide if it's right or wrong, morally speaking. What they do is tell us what they think is right or wrong, and we have to decide if it's true. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. The reality of how it should work and how it does work are backwards.
Sadly. Real quick, thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. Wait, a commercial vehicle-centric company that must have federal permission to exist, dot number, targeted federal agency vehicles, rip your CSA score. Yeah, you don't want to tow federal vehicles. That's just dumb.
And
I don't
especially
get
during a
man.
raid, it'd be one thing if
Yeah.
this guy was just parked at his girlfriend's house.
Yeah. Yeah, that he would be in trouble. But you towed it while they're doing, like, they're executing an actual active investigation, executing a warrant probably, or a catch, whatever the technical term for catching illegals is, a scoop. Let's call it a scoop.
An ice raid.
An ice raid, yeah. It's like a scoop of ice cream. But yeah, you don't want to do that because you just stole federal property, you dum-dum, during what is possibly considered an emergency situation. I mean, I bet there are tons of statutes and case law for this sort of thing. The feds aren't going to screw around with that. Somebody's going to jail over that.
Mofo says trying to remember, but thought trim was more in the early 90s. By one, this card is supposedly written in 2003. By then, why would you add pubic hair?
Yeah, nobody does that, especially if you're a bunch of peds.
Yeah, that shit is like 13-year-olds.
Yeah, it's kryptonite to perverts.
But I do wonder, given that they tell us that this was typewritten, if part of the reason that they're not releasing this is because they haven't done their due diligence. For those of you who don't remember or are too young, Dan Rather ran a story about George Bush and how somebody supposedly had written down that they were helping him evade real service in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And the way
draft dodging.
And the way they got caught with it is that the font used in the letter didn't exist at the time the letter was supposed to have been written.
Yeah, it's that kind of attention to detail that says, I don't have pride in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get caught. I mean, it's pretty easy to find out if the font was used at the time. If
this had been before the internet, because the internet is what did this, it broke this out, they probably would have got away with it because it looked real enough that the untrained eye wouldn't have caught it, and the people who did catch it might have ended up on public access somewhere going, no, for real, they lied.
Yeah, because it was some font nerds.
Yeah.
It's some font website that, like, for fans of fonts, that's a real thing. I don't even care, but it's a real thing. They figured it out. So good for them. It is like 4chan doing their weaponized autism. There's always people out there on the internet just waiting for a puzzle like that.
Yeah, this is something that normal people don't think about that often, but the font I use on every thumbnail, that has not existed very long.
Yeah.
That font is not that old. So if you saw something from the 1960s with that font, you should be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's not right.
Anyway, let's move on to our other story of the day, Jack. Which, oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this first. Share. There we go. On your screen is I recognize Byron.
That's not share.
Huh? No. Share. Share.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Cher's aged poorly and turned into a black man.
Yeah, not old smelly cooch, but this.
Oh,
it's
okay.
James Comer in the middle, and he's getting ready to tell us about a deposition that they just had. This is the second one at the time, Jack, and we'll get to the third in a moment. But we are on the AT&T, so if it's a little jumbly, sorry, guys, just listen.
Well, unfortunately, that was quick. This is the second witness that we've brought in via subpoena for a deposition.
The person he's talking about, I forget the guy's name, but they call him Jill Biden's work husband. It was like her chief of staff.
Oh, yeah. I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about.
That has pled the fifth, and they've stated They're not going to answer questions. I want to read the first two questions.
Listen
Just
to
so
this.
everyone knows, these are the types of questions we ask. Was Joe Biden fit to exercise the duties of the president? He pled the fifth. Second question, did any unelected official or family member execute the duties of the presidency? And this is Joe Biden's chief of
Yeah, Joe Biden's chief of staff. There you go. The two questions, was Joe Biden able to be president, and was anybody else doing his job? And they pled the fifth. Now, when you're being asked a question in court, you can't plead the fifth just on everything. The Fifth Amendment,
but you're going to get contempt of court.
Yeah, the Fifth Amendment is against incriminating yourself. How in the fuck would you be incriminating yourself by answering whether or not the former president was able to be president? Unless you knew absolutely that he couldn't be.
I mean, look, they're circling the wagons here, but I maintain that one of these people has some kind of dark secret, whether they're banging whores or they have a drug problem, and they're going to get caught. And the only card they're going to have to get out of that problem is to testify about Biden's competency.
I hear you. I think at this point, there's no motive for anybody to break the silence.
Yeah. Well, until they find like something on one of these people's hard drives. I think if Pam Bondi really wanted to execute some search warrants on some of these people and like start digging, you'll find something on somebody that'll be just enough to push them over. But it depends how much they really want to find out the truth.
All right, we're going to switch over to this tab and watch this.
Now, we're watching the testimony of this woman here, Annie Tomasini. She's the former senior advisor to President Joe Biden. She was the third person set to appear before James Comer's committee. She has now taken the fifth. So the doctor.
We have a third person now who just came out and this is an advisor to Biden himself, asked the same goddamn questions. Hey, was he able to do the job? And she's like, that would incriminate me if I answer.
Yeah. She looks like an evil headmistress at some like women's boarding school.
My theory, they don't know if the committee has evidence that they knew Biden was. Well, here's the thing. The committee right now, I don't think they have any evidence other than what we've seen in public. It is possible that the DOJ went in and searched the White House computers, but I feel like we would have heard about that. I feel like that one would have been one they couldn't have kept quiet.
They might be able to do that remotely, though.
Maybe.
I don't know. It depends on how motivated the DOJ is to follow through on this. Because, if Bondi's just going to bury this one too, they're not going to get anywhere with this committee.
The correct answer is I don't believe I'm qualified to make that assessment. USP, I hear you. The problem with that is the 25th Amendment. It specifically calls on Congress and the cabinet to make a judgment about the president's ability to do his job.
Yeah, and this could be seen as a conspiracy to undermine the elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking like treason here if you're not careful. If they really want to twist this around a little bit, this is treason. This
is absolutely treason.
Look, they have a duty to the Constitution that they swore an oath to when they took these jobs. And if Biden was incompetent and they took advantage of that to forge his name on stuff and push legislation or whatever, they could be in front of a firing squad.
You can go back to before the election because some of those videos still exist, Jack. We had to get rid of a lot of them because of YouTube's bullshit, but
yeah.
You can find me telling you guys I do not want to live through a president being 25th.
Yeah.
I told you that before Biden was ever elected. And we were seeing it then. There's no way these people didn't see it. There's absolutely no way.
We
And
saw it before the election. How did they not know?
Yeah, the correct answer to was Biden able to do his job, if you believed he was able to do his job, is yes.
Yeah.
The only way the only way that could ever be incriminating to you is if there's evidence somewhere of you saying the opposite. That should be an easy, forget the second question. We'll get to it in a second, but was Joe Biden able to do his job? Yes. Why can't you say that? It is more telling that you can't say it. You could give them some bullshit and be like, I don't understand why you're asking me this question. I'm not a certified psychologist. I'm not a neurologist. No, they just go, I plead the fifth. And the only reason to do that is because you can't answer yes. Because if you really did believe, like if you have nothing but emails telling everybody else, no, he's absolutely competent, then you would have no problem saying, yes, I thought he was competent.
Yeah, I'm curious what back channel methods they were using for communication. Like, are they using Proton Mail or something?
Probably.
Or are they dumb enough to actually do it with their official accounts?
He was selected because he was befuddled with old age. No, that's not why they selected him, Bubba. It's because the rest of the field was trash.
And they knew he could win.
Mm-hmm.
Or use him enough to win.
It could be a believable win. Nobody's going to believe that Swalwell or who else ran during that fucking thing? Bernie. Nobody's going to believe these people could win. So he was that, and I said that very early on too, is that he was their best chance, because if you looked at the rest of the field, it was trash. It was when Biden is your best option, your other options are just trash. But it is telling that these people are refusing to go on the record and say, yes, he was competent. Now, the second question was anybody else, what was it? Do you have any knowledge of anybody else doing the actions of the president? That one I can see them pleading the fifth on, being like, oh, I did push the play on the auto pen, and that's come into question. So you know what? I'm gonna plead the fifth on that, because I don't think that's the right way to go. You should be able to go, no, he was doing it himself.
Yeah, but they all know, everybody knows Biden wasn't making a lot of those decisions.
Sure, yeah. So I can at least see it on that one. But that first question, was he able to be president? And you can't just say yes. These people should be being hounded by journalists asking them why they won't answer these questions.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Taylor Lorenz should be out there calling their family and friends.
Taylor Lorenz, yeah, she ain't going to do that.
Oh, what else did I have? What is this one related? Oh, no, okay. All right, Jack. So this next one you sent me, and I haven't watched it yet. It's Joy Reid on with Piers Morgan. And I hate Joy Reid.
Yeah, I know.
I hate this lady.
That's why I sent it to you.
She is one of the people. She once accused me of stalking her because she made a post. I happened to be on Twitter at the time, and so I was the first person to respond to it. And I made fun of her.
Stalker.
And I made fun of her. It's amazing how these people just wait for you. They just sit there and wait all day for you to do something. Even my stalkers aren't that engaged. They'll see something. You can tell by the patterns of how it happens.
Yeah.
Like they decide to log on and I happen to have just said something, so they have to speak up. Except Ufio. He actually did stalk me there for a while.
Well, I mean, look. Booze was cheap back then.
I do enjoy Piers Morgan's show most of the time, but I only watch it when there's a topic that I am interested in, so maybe that has something to do with it. The one issue I do have with Piers and his show is he's kind of tabloid journalism at this point. He's like tabloid journalism for e-celebs. Because some of the people that he brings on there, like Hassan and Pearl and Destiny, I'm just like, why do you have that? And Andrew Wilson, like, why do you have these people on?
He doesn't have to pay them.
No, yeah. They're more than happy to do it for the exposure.
Yeah.
But I just want to get that out there because I know a lot of people still hate Piers Morgan for some of his opinions, especially like the debate with Ben Shapiro over the Second Amendment. I don't agree with all of because Piers is a European. He's a British guy, so he's got his gay commie side that comes out from time to time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I do agree with him on a lot of what he says, and I do enjoy the show.
He looks like he smells like farts, and the background behind Joy Reid, I think is fake. I think that's a green screen with a stock image. You know why? Because there's books back there, and I'm convinced she's not literate.
I think you're probably correct on that.
Yeah,
I do love that she's got that background and it's so blurred. I get it with a really high-tech camera that can happen, but you can get a camera to do stuff like this where the whole scene, even if you're moving a whole lot, stays in focus, Jack.
Yeah, unless that is a stock image, and then it's going to look like that. So
could be young adult. No, if this was her actual thing, it would be those really thick cardboard books that only have like one word on each page, like pig, and there's a picture of a pig, and then bunny rabbit, and there's a bunny rabbit.
Bunch of little golden books that her carer has to read to her.
Yeah.
I want to read. I want the pokey little puppy.
The pokey little puppy.
Everybody loves a pokey little puppy.
I never heard of that book until I met my wife.
What? You were
I'd never heard of it until I met her. Look, for me, it was always about hand, finger, thumb, and left foot, right.
We never had any Dr. Seuss as kids, I don't think, but we had the little golden books because they were like hand-me-downs from older kids.
Oh yeah, we had little golden books, but my favorites were I still love. I was so happy when I had grandchildren and I could read hand, finger. I at one point I had hand, finger, thumb memorized because Little Butt loved it so much. I could just tell the book to her as she flipped the pages.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Hand, finger, thumb. One thumb drumming. Wait, fuck, I can't remember it now.
Well, it's been a few years. We had Pokey Little Puppy and the bunny rabbit that was trying to figure out what he wanted to be when he grew up.
Oh, the other one I'd never heard of until I met my wife was "Are You My Mother?"
Oh yeah,
Are You My Mother? Joe Biden, thank you. Come on, man. I was more than capable of looking through the windows of those two young girls who were home alone while I was evading the Easter Bunny. I have a nose for these kind of things, you know. Now back to talking about the guy frying his own penis. Look, the reason I don't believe that's the real Joe Biden is because he didn't say in there, I'm not kidding.
Come on, man. I'm serious.
Not joking. I'm not joking. I love when he says not joking when there was no joke. Never mind. Anyway, let's get on to Joy here. Joy recently fired from MSNBC. I guess at this point, 6-7 months old now?
Yeah.
We haven't seen enough of this in the media. There's a ton of people in the media who should have been fired for being horrific at their job. I will say we did see today Stephen Colbert has been fired, which is funny as fuck.
Yeah, but not till next year.
They're not re-upping his contract because nobody's watching his stupid little show.
Because it's boring and he's not funny. It's a propaganda show now.
I have never thought Colbert is all that funny. I think Jon Stewart is funny. I think John Oliver is funny. I don't like their politics at all, but they know how to craft a joke.
John Oliver used to be funny. Now he's just a sad propagandist.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what takes him down. But Colbert was never funny. His gimmick was he's the radio talk show host. That's what he really was. He was a ripoff of Hannity and Limbaugh.
Yeah.
And it really should have been a one-off bit, or maybe it should have been like the church lady on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, he's an SNL skit that got turned into a movie.
And with way too many sequels.
Yeah, it's sad and kind of pathetic, but yeah, I never found him funny. Craig Ferguson is funny.
Yeah, Craig's funny.
I disagree with a lot of his political stances, but at least he can deliver a joke.
But anyway, so Joy got fired, and apparently that's what they're going to be talking about. I did read the blurb that came with the tweet, Jack, but I haven't watched this segment.
Oh, I thought you'd get a kick out of watching it.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I will probably go watch the full Piers Morgan Uncensored episode after we're done here.
This clip kept reminding me of the woman that was being interviewed by the YouTuber, and she's like, well, you don't know anything about me. And the girl's like, I know you're a musician. What? I ain't no musician.
I can't do magic.
Sting. Yeah. I ain't Harry Potter.
Oh, all right. Oh, thank you, Mighty Balzac. Are you my motherfucker by Samuel L. Jackson? I would actually buy that book. All right, here we go.
Denaturalizing. That's Idi Amin behavior. There's a black fascist that you can compare it to.
Let's move on to. I want to just play a clip.
I'm assuming at that point they're talking about Donald Trump saying he was going to take away Rosie's citizenship.
Yeah. Joy has this thing that black people can't be fascists. So that's part of it too. It's convoluted nonsense.
For the record, I don't just dislike Joy Reid because she was a bad reporter. I'm using air quotes. I hate this woman because she is a race-baiting piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. I don't think she likes white people.
I think she does. I think it's all grift for her.
Oh, it might be.
If she hated white people as much as she likes to pretend she does, she wouldn't have worked for them her whole life. She had no problem cashing white man's check.
Yeah, well, that's a reparations check.
Yeah. Anyway.
When you lost your job at MSNBC. Let's watch this.
My show had value.
No, it didn't.
And
sorry.
That.
No, you're right. My show had value to you. So maybe if you went to them and said, hey, I'll pay you to have a show on here, they'd let you have it.
Do you think that pause is her O-face?
Yes. That is definitely, the bean has been flicked just enough.
It's like if you had a caption for that, it'd be, oh, Lordy.
Ain't she married to a white man? I don't know.
I'm sorry. That what I was doing had value.
No, it didn't. It actually had the opposite. What's the opposite of value? No value. No value is just a wash. It was detrimental because you were a race baiting piece of shit, and it didn't matter what the subject was. You had to jump in and go, but they hate the black people. You were actively standing in the way of progress. And in progress here, look, sometimes progress isn't a good thing, Jack, but white people, black people, Asians, and Latinos all getting along is a good thing.
And value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God.
I love her trying to think. I'm not sorry for standing up for those things. Those things, they're of God. You weren't just fired for criticizing the BDS movement. You were fired because nobody was watching your show unironically. and they were paying you way too much money for that. You should have been fired when they originally announced that they were going to fire you back in, what, 2020? Because do you remember when it got leaked that she was going to be fired, and then it just magically all went away?
Yeah, she probably threatened to sue or something. And they're like, oh, no, that's just a rumor, man.
You were on a network that gives Rachel Maddow millions to do like 2 shows a week. Yeah. And they looked at you and went, yeah, that's a waste of money.
I mean, that would hurt because they're like the worst network on the planet. So you don't have to have high ratings to still have a job. So how bad do you have to screw up to get fired from that network?
Isn't it funny that liberal talking points are so bad that they have to desperately pay the 2 people that folks still pretend they care about, Jon Stewart and Rachel Maddow, a shit ton of money to only work a couple days a week?
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to back up a dump truck full of cash just to keep the mildly amusing people on the air. And half of those are hate watchers, I'm sure. So I don't know, man. I don't get it. They should give us a show. We'd be way more popular than those tards.
Jon Stewart, when he's in charge over there on the Daily Show, it's very much like it used to be. He's still delivering the same. Have you tried watching any of the other hosts on that?
I can't watch that show. It's terrible. I thought Trevor Noah was bad, and then they get these other people, and
Stewart is played out, but at least he fell back into his routine. He still delivers his stuff the same way. I think it's sad that they cling to him like that, and now really old millennials are like, "That's my guy."
Yeah, but how much longer could he do that? Because he's got to be sick of it.
At least he's got timing and stuff. You watch these other guys, god damn, they make Trevor Noah look like a comedy genius.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Trevor Noah has no delivery.
It's
like,
so
he is
bad.
too deadpan. These new guys are even worse. Oh, at least Jon Stewart had comedy training before doing a comedy show. But these other guys are they're just boring. Did you find them like in a line of unemployed YouTubers? Like, seriously, how did you find these people? They're terrible.
I will never understand why they hired Trevor Noah, because I've seen his stand-up and it's not good.
No, he's awful. But he fit the diversity quota or something, because I
there
can't
are
think
funny
of any other
black
reason.
liberals out there.
Yeah, but there's no other reason to hire him. Maybe he was working cheap. I don't know.
Maybe. All right, back to Joy crying.
And you know, I'm a church girl too, and
Sure you are.
those are the things that I was taught were of God, and so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Now, look, you're perfectly entitled to be proud of your show. Many people enjoyed.
No, she's not. You can be proud of what you want, I guess, but you're not. There's no reason she should be proud of what she did on MSNBC.
Hang on, he's setting up a bitch slap here.
I'm sure he is, but I just want to get that part out there. No.
Your show for many years. You know, a lot of people at NBC were briefing that the reason was declining ratings post the election, a 47% decrease in your election, in ratings from pre-election. But you told Mark Lamont Hill on his show this.
After I said on my show that the reason Americans could relate to
before we get to her thing here, I'm just looking at Mark Lamont Hill. His shirt says, "The future is black and feminist." Feminism is mostly white chicks. As a black man, you probably should separate those two things before you catch a charge.
Right?
White women love you until you get close to them, homie. White liberal women, until you get close. And then they jump out of the elevator and call the police. Be careful, my friend. I'm just saying. I'm trying to help you out.
He's a piece of shit. Fucking.
This is like Gays for Palestine, where I'm just saying. No, the white girls love me.
Ukrainians in a way that they didn't relate to Palestinians, that Ukrainians are white. And so watching white people get their schools bombed was, hit different. That hit our ratings. I mean, it definitely, we could.
Okay. Jack, do you remember when Zelensky went into Russia and killed and raped a bunch of people?
Like personally, or
I had his military do it.
not
before
really.
Russia invaded them for doing that.
Nope, I don't remember that one. We watched that entire build-up pretty closely. I don't remember that part.
Nobody can accuse me of being on Ukraine's side, but
they will.
Here's the reason that hits differently, Joy. Ukraine had done some things to piss off Russia, mostly just trying to get in bed with us and being a puppet of the CIA. But they didn't go into Russia and attack them and kill children and women and film it. In Gaza, as horrible as it is that children are dying over there, it's because their parents are terrorist shitbags who raped and murdered a bunch of people at a fucking peace festival. They couldn't wait one day and do it the day after the peace festival.
Sorry, I don't see the distinction you're trying to make here, Monkey. Could you elaborate?
But see, this is part of the whole, it's because of the Jews. No, there's a difference in what happened in those two things. And while I don't support Ukraine, at least it makes sense where this country, like, they're just minding their own business. Nobody can say Hamas and Gaza were just minding their own fucking business. Israel's left them alone since 2006.
It's an open air prison.
The only time they fuck with them is when the fucking terrorist shitbags who run and live in that place engage in terrorism.
What? You're crazy. They send they're love bombing. See, that's what that means.
I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm, and we haven't even got to whatever point Pierce is gonna make.
Every missile is an "I love you" from Gaza.
Fuck, man. All right.
Gaza
See the loss of white viewers from that moment that I said that. So they were like, we don't like the name calling. And also I'm a black woman. So, I mean, I'm sure it makes him angrier, when I say things. Maybe.
Anybody want to accuse me of being angrier when a black woman says something? I get accused of being racist against white women because white women are the worst.
Well, I mean, they think you're Chinese, so.
This has become a narrative over the last probably 5 to 8 years where it's like, they just don't like me because I'm a black woman and they don't like when black women talk.
Well, they got to play the victim card somewhere, dude.
Meanwhile, Winnie down there in Virginia has a good chance of becoming the first black woman governor as a Republican, Jack.
Hate fact. They don't care about Republican women, especially minority. Those.
Hey, wow. Joy, maybe it's not how you look, it's what you say.
And how stupid it is. But nah.
Maybe because I am a
problem.
Yeah.
Global South person myself, I mean, as a black person, we have a different empathy toward other Global South people when they're.
Fuck does Global South people mean?
Oh, that's this new thing where everybody from the Southern Hemisphere, ignore Australia, is people of color. So it's a hemispherism.
Yeah, but she's blaming it on her coverage of Gaza.
Yeah, but see, the people from Gaza are brown. And they're from the Southern Hemisphere, so they can relate to each other. They have empathy for people that look like them.
Is Gaza
even
in the
mildly
Hemisphere?
light brown. No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. It's
my geography
pretty close
is not
to the equator.
Perfect, but I didn't think they were in the Southern Hemisphere. Okay, anyway.
I don't know. I don't think it is, but it's pretty close to the equator. So I don't know. It's just some nonsense she's made. Because like half of India is probably above the equator. There's plenty of brown people and people of color above the equator. So this global South nonsense is just some bullshit they're trying to spin lately.
Yeah, that's a new one on me. I'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Are suffering. And so we're going to come at that story from a different angle and in a different way and with different kinds of empathies. And I think that's not always received very well in the news business.
When you have empathy for the terrorists, it's not going to be received well, whether you're from the global north, south, east, or west.
Oh no, it's not because they're terrorists, Monkey. It's because they're misunderstood brown people. See, that's why they're hated by the people of the Caucasoid Mountains, because they're brown. So it's because you don't hate them for the atrocities they committed. No, you hate them because they're brown.
Evolve says Gaza, Mozambique is in the southern hemisphere. That I would believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, she has different empathies because she's a global black woman.
Yes. They have soul because of their melanin. Remember, we've talked about this.
Okay.
Now, Joy, I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin color or because you're a black woman. I think you were fired because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
Because that is literally all she has.
Oh, how dare he say such a thing to a woman from the global South?
Is it iDubbbz empathy? Yes. Very selective.
Yeah.
Gracie, have a good one.
Bye, Gracie.
Got to go to work. I hope it passes quickly for you.
Yeah. I hope you find money in the parking lot.
Look at her smile at that question. She knows the real answer is because that's the only way anybody will pay attention to me.
Yep. Because she's boring.
Yeah. If Joy Reid doesn't play the race card, nobody listens to her at all. She's not just boring, Jack. She is dumb.
She's very dumb. But some dumb people have learned to be crafty and use their stupidity as some kind of boon. I don't get it, but it seems to work for them.
You can, when I say dumb, I mean she's not intelligent. She's not informed. You can be not informed and still, be successful.
Yeah, but successful and ignorant is not a good combination for long-term success.
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card.
And that's about the point I was like, I'm sending this to Monkey.
Black women have a different empathy. Why are you playing the race card?
No, see, you have a different race card than hers. Because, yours is one of privilege.
Jesus Christ, man.
Literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations with.
I can hear you. Is that your head hitting the table or your hand?
It's my hand. My head is in my other hand at the moment.
Oh. There's times like this where I wish we had face cam so I could see your reaction and how the pain that you're expressing, because it would make me laugh so much harder.
The balls on this man. Jesus Christ. All right.
Me, Piers, I find it actually quite
You
charming.
racialize more conversations in your tenure at MSNBC than any host in history.
All right, Mark. All right, Piers. And the bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize because this is your shtick. And I get
the parts that he racialized. They were your fucking words.
Pot kettle what?
If you want to go on and say, hey, I said that there was a whole bunch of other non-racially related stuff, you could make that argument. I haven't seen the Mark Lamont Hill thing, but I'm just going to say I doubt that she could say that.
I tried to watch it. It's boring as shit. They're both boring, unintelligent people.
But to suggest that he racialized it by using your words that you said is fucking retarded.
Well, see, he has a different race card than she does. She is pointing out actual racism, and he is like, "That's racial. How dare you?" And she's like, nuh-uh.
She has a point that when people talk about her, they do point to the race stuff. And this is what I was saying earlier. It's because that's the only time there's any interest in hers, because she will say something so fucking dumb, and she always has to make it about race. The parts where she would have shows, Jack, and not talk about race, nobody watched.
That's because they were few and far between, too.
Yeah,
because
this was
that's
her
all
shtick.
she had. Yeah, and she's trying to turn the tables on Piers by saying that he's selective. No, that's her entire thing. So, of course, she talks about race. It's all she ever talks about.
And if she wants to make her point here, she really could go, I didn't say it was just about race, and that is fair, because she also said it was about Jews.
Yeah, and probably some gender or something. Who knows? But
Black woman. She brought up the woman part of it.
Yep, and she brought up a person from the southern part of the world, so she's playing the race card there too. She has a whole deck of just race cards.
Yeah. Anyway,
that this is your
you
shtick.
racialized everything, Joy. Come on.
I get it. I understand this is your shtick, Piers. And listen, game reg.
This is another one of those, Jack. How's she sitting down with her pants on fire like that?
It's some sort of communist ability to lie and their pants do not combust.
Well, this is
maybe they're asbestos.
This is part of the liberal ethos, is blame others for that which you're doing.
Oh yeah, the Shaggy defense. Well, it wasn't me. It was you.
It was me.
That's the game. I get this is
It's
your
not
game.
my stick.
And the bottom line,
It was your
it
stick.
is your stick, and everyone
it was
knows
your
that it
stick.
is. Piers, we
And people
understand
got bored
what
with
it is.
it.
And it is so interesting to me that you yourself, as a white European,
Really? Fuck. I mean, he is a white European, Jack.
What?
But
Piers Morgan's white?
But when you're trying to dodge the race card charge, maybe you as a white European shouldn't be a part of that conversation.
She can't help herself.
I know, because she's a racist shithead.
Yeah, and that's all she's got. She's like Al Sharpton. Everything's about race.
find that when people of color talk about race,
Oh my God.
that you believe is racializing conversations. But when people like you fixate on, well, Barack Obama was a black president, why don't you object to that?
What?
She's just flailing.
I need an example of what she's talking about here.
Do you really think you're going to get one? Because
No.
I was going to say, you may need to see a doctor for your head injury.
Who is out there saying Barack was a black person? How come you don't talk about that?
That's 'cause they spent 8 years just talking about that.
That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you can't put your, and I'm sure you.
No, okay. I was wondering if she was getting to this. There are people when it's like, it's the most racist country. This is a racist country. We had a black president. That is one of the times this comes up, oh, they didn't vote for Kamala because she was a black woman. No, she's not. But it is a legit thing to go, but we hired a black man to do the job.
No. See, that's racializing the conversation. You can't do that. Ha. Take that.
We not only hired a black man, but he was Kenyan.
Allegedly.
And I believe what Hillary Clinton tells me.
Oh, fair enough.
Find that charming and funny.
I find it
You
hilarious
cannot
because
see
you're the
your
one.
own-
You're
Well,
the one
you
who
and
said
your
you're
friend
the one who said Donald
You
Trump.
and your friend Donald
You
Trump.
said Donald
you and
Trump
your
is a
friend
white
Donald Trump
fascist.
Are so he is a well. I agree
And
with
yet
Mark
when Obama
Milley,
did the
who
same
was,
thing,
last time I checked, is
I'm not allowed
black.
to mention his
I
skin
agree
color.
with
Yeah, see that this is where but Obama was black comes up, is anytime they're like, well, Trump did this. He's a white fascist, which she called him. Like, well, Obama did it. How dare you racialize this? Joe Biden, thank you again. Why is one of my leg hairs that turns blonde in the summer talking on the television?
Everybody wants to rub my leg hairs.
That's when I learned about cockroaches. God
That's
bless.
so messed up. We should rewatch his speeches sometime just for the comedy value.
We should pull that one up, and next time we're talking about how did nobody notice this guy?
I know. It's sad.
His former chief of staff, who last I checked was not black, and said he's fascist, and Mark Milley said he's fascist.
People that got fired by Trump called him a fascist without giving any evidence of fascism. All right, you win.
Weird how that happened, isn't it?
But how about this? Okay. Did they call him a white fascist, or did they just call him a fascist? Now I'm having to defend those assholes. See, you're the one who threw the white in there, Dunny.
Well, she wants to say cracker, but she knows she can't.
These people called him a fascist. Okay, but what about who added the racial term there? Who is it that racialized it? Joy?
I'm going to blame Dangerous.
Thank you, Dangerous. I do not make everything all about race, but you wouldn't understand because you're a white European man. I'm on blood pressure medication. This dumb bitch is really testing its effectiveness. Yeah, she's. This is what I was talking about. I hate her racializing stuff. I really do.
Yeah, it's
but she's
so counterproductive.
She's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, she can't help herself. It's all she's got. Dangerous is 100% right because my blood pressure's going nuts too. I had to sit through this twice now.
My blood pressure's fine because this is the kind of stuff I expect from Joy. The thumps you've heard of my hand just falling, it's just I can't.
I know.
How
Dangerous said, "What the fuck did I do? You were having standards, mister."
I don't understand how this woman got to be famous. How she got to not just be famous, but to have a show where she talked about the news on a major cable news network.
Look, Dangerous has said he went to school for journalism. Do you think Joy Reid has a journalism degree?
Yes.
Because she is destroying all credibility that all journalists have. Like, why Dangerous would do better than this woman. I'm pretty sure that you could put your cat on TV for an hour and it would be better ratings than Joy Reid ever had.
Oh my God. So I have a Band-Aid on my ring finger on my left hand, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Phoebe were playing today. I went to pick Phoebe up and my cat is very particular. She needs everything to be exactly the same every time.
Uh-huh.
But I went to pick her up, and she likes to do this thing where when she's going to get picked up, she flops on the ground. She has two things that she does. She'll either go and stretch against the wall, or she flops on her side. She doesn't lay down gently. There's actually a noise when she lays down. And I reach down and pick her up right under her front paw or front arms, legs. They're a cat, right? So they only have legs. Under her legs, and pick her up and then put her up on my shoulder. Well, when I went down to pick her up, she just moved slightly. So my hand was just a little off center from where it normally is. And that upset her. So I put her up on my shoulder and she starts biting at my hand. And so I have to hold her and calm her and pet her. And then she gets her rage out. And then she just lays there for a second as I pet my pretty little kitty cat. And then I sit her down and she still has a little bit of rage in her. So she turns and jumps at me. And this is my sign that she wants to play. So I reach down and grab at her, and then she rolls over on her back like a tiger with her arms up. And I wave my hand over her. Now, Phoebe doesn't normally use her claws, but if she gets really excited, she can't help herself. And so her claw comes out, and it slipped my finger from the tip all the way down to the first knuckle.
Ow.
Yeah. And that has more news value than anything this bitch has ever done.
No, I agree with that.
She was so cute because right after that, I went to bed and then she came and crawled up on my chest and laid down and went to sleep.
Oh, Dangerous makes a really good point. See, I told you he's a better reporter. Hey, Joy, that same chief of staff said Trump didn't want to be photographed with the amputee soldiers. He had photos with lots of amputee soldiers.
Yep.
The dude you mentioned is a lying. See you next Tuesday.
And even, I hear you. But the question here is who racialized it? She did.
Yeah, of course.
She's trying to change the subject. This is the kind of shit that the left does all the time. When they get called out on something, instead of her going, you're right, I added the white to that. She's like, but other people called him a fascist. How many of them called him a white fascist? You're the one. There's a reason I say white women, Jack, because I want to highlight the fact that it's white women who do shit.
Yeah.
If I just meant women, I would just say women. Anyway.
To the core.
Okay.
So I happen to agree, and I know this is what it's important to you, with two very white gentlemen about Donald Trump's fascist tendencies.
Let's talk about Obama's fascist tendencies.
No shit. All right. We'll let her finish, and then we'll.
Okay.
If that makes you sad and uncomfortable, I can't help you.
No, he doesn't
There's
make me
nothing
sad
I
and
can do about
uncomfortable.
it.
It
I think
didn't
you
make him sad or uncomfortable. He was pointing out that you weren't fired for your black skin, that you're just that you're the one who racializes everything. Because when he pointed out you weren't fired for being black, you were like, but you fucking white people.
But you know who fired her? Some whitey.
Probably.
They were being all melanin challenged while they were talking to her. Oh, how dare.
And they replaced you with a black man, a black woman, and a white woman. They need to get the blacks off TV, so they put two on instead of one.
It doesn't have to make sense. She's crazy.
makes you a little bit of a hypocrite, but that's different.
Oh, it doesn't make her a little bit of a hypocrite. She's a big hypocrite, Jack.
Yeah. He's underselling that one a little.
All right. Fuck Joy Reid. She's a fucking retard, man.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that clip.
The only other thing that I had thought that I wanted to talk about tonight, I checked in on Weibo for the first time in a long time. I haven't seen her online or anything. I wonder what's happened with Weibo. And she put up a video on the 4th, or for the 4th. I don't know what day it actually came out. So I was like, oh, I'll go watch her video. And we've ruined young people.
What's this weak crap? I didn't do anything to young people. You have no proof otherwise. And anybody that says that is a liar.
Society as a whole has ruined young people. Because there's still parts of what she talks about that I agree with, but it's a very down video about the state of America. The question she asks is, are we still the home of the brave? And she talks about how the country comes to be with things like the Stamp Act and the various different duties that the British put on us for the French or the American Indian War there.
I suddenly feel like tossing some tea in a harbor in Boston.
Right. But it's a very down idea of where we stand. And what really bugs me is at one point she talks about what Lincoln had said. And she's talking about she doesn't say that I remember that fascism is coming into America, but basically that there's some authoritarianism that's coming in. I'm like, you used Lincoln as an example of good times.
Well, I mean, maybe comparatively.
The dude who threw people in prison for disagreeing with him. Who, one of her things is crackdowns on protests. Lincoln sent the fucking army to New York.
Yeah, lots of presidents have done stuff like that. Woodrow Wilson, FDR. There were a couple others that abused that level of power too.
There's a lot of shit going on in the country that needs fixed and that we can point to and go, this is bad. But historically, we have it pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the technological advances aside, times are not as bad as people tend to make them sound.
We get news media telling us about the fascist Donald Trump. You want to talk about Nobody ever brings up the internment camps unless they have a very specific reason for doing it. But they're like, they're going to throw people into concentration camps. Nobody's ever done anything like this.
Except Woodrow Wilson and FDR. Yeah.
They're going after the media. This is a whole new low. Really? Let's ask Lincoln about that shit.
Oh, you could go even further back for that.
Oh,
Going
yeah.
after the media. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one goes back real early on.
I think that we need to be more free, but a lot of people seem to have this idea that because these politicians spoke in flowery language as they were standing over dead bodies, that somehow they actually governed that way.
Yeah.
And it's just not true. I mean, look at like Brown versus Board of Education. That was the Supreme Court okay with racism.
Mm-hmm. You go back to the Amistad trial for that too. I mean,
yeah, no shit. I mean, we've never lived up to the promise of all men are created equal.
No,
I
but
don't.
It's an ideal that we're striving towards,
Yes.
supposedly.
But the idea, look, there's a lot of things that are worse than they used to be, and a lot of it has to do with the pussy ass generations being raised by communists.
Yeah.
But like her focus on protests and cracking down on protests. One, let's be honest about what a protest is. Under the Constitution, you have the right to peacefully assemble. You do not have the right to get in the fucking street and hold everybody else up and burn down buildings and just go, but I'm just politically protesting.
Yeah, you don't get to throw fireworks and bottles at the police.
And if we were back in the day, pick whatever president you think was the one who was the greatest example of American idealism ever. And chances are they'd have had these protesters locked up, and some of them hung for treason.
Oh, they probably would have shot quite a few of them before that.
So the whole notion that, you know, things have just gotten that bad, we still have it pretty good.
Yeah, we still have Miranda rights that are largely respected. You still have recourse against your government. So, yeah, it gets trampled on occasionally, but those are exceptions, not the rule. There's still quite a lot of freedoms that you can enjoy. So things aren't quite as dire as the media would lead you to believe.
No. And a lot of what we look at, like with the protests, we're like, no, that's an American right. No, it's not. It's an abomination of what that right is. The right to, notice they didn't give a right to throw tea in the harbor, Jack. They didn't put in there a right to go to an armory and steal all the guns, which is absolutely things they did.
Yeah, yeah. There's a reason why they dressed up as Indians, to disguise themselves when they were throwing the tea in the harbor. You know, and the whole thing with the armory, John Brown would have been justified in his actions if they had given you that kind of latitude, because he was doing a political protest in his mind, and other people were saying, "Oh, he's taking over a place." Harper's Ferry was besieged by him and his family. So yeah, that's a significantly different thing.
It's another one of those times where people are looking at history through the modern lens, and they don't understand that the modern lens had no applicable place back then.
Yes.
The whole idea of cruel and unusual punishment, I mean, that has been used to stop capital punishment in this country when you could be federally killed for treason when this country was founded.
People used to get hung all the time.
Yeah.
Firing squads. That was not considered cruel and unusual. Torture is cruel and unusual. Not sitting around without basic cable, which was used as an excuse, by the way.
Even in the terms of torture, what we would consider torture, there's some of that they had no problem with.
Yeah.
So when you look at America through this modern lens, and you're like, they were so much better with the way rights were in the past, you're just either dumb or you're looking at it through what's rose-colored glasses but futuristic. You're looking at it through chrome reflective lenses.
You're looking at it through Google Glass.
Yes. Lincoln, by today's standards, was a tyrannical despot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what to tell you with this shit. I mean, how can you have that little sense of history and then point to it and be like, Lincoln said this? Lincoln said a lot of shit.
Well,
And then he did different stuff.
there's but for his time, he was considered much differently than we would view him now, and that's
Sure.
part of the historical context that you have to look at. He was a man of his time, like all leaders, and you have to look at him in the scope of the era. But it's important to have that context, and most people have a very surface level understanding of history that lacks incredible amounts of nuance. And if you don't understand the time in which people lived, I think it's unfair to judge them, especially using today's standards as a template. You're never going to give anybody a reasonable assessment if you're looking at them through a modern lens.
And when you look at the country as a whole, we've changed so much, and we've gotten close. We're closer today to that founding idea than we've ever been.
Overall, I
Have
would say
we-
so, yeah.
Yeah, have we bastardized it? Sure. Are we still light years away from all men are created equal? I think we're getting closer than anybody ever thought possible.
Yeah. The important thing would be to nullify the 19th so we could get all men being equal.
But like when you look at the protests, especially the Gaza protests, like we have a fucking thing to do with that.
Right.
And you have people being shot or even more, kept from going. I was going to say even worse, but this isn't worse. You kept from going to their classes because they happen to support Jews.
Or they are a Jew.
And you're like, you should not be able to stop those protests. They're peaceful protests. Actually, definitionally, stopping somebody from going to where they want to is force and therefore not peaceful.
Yep.
Second, what we're seeing called protests these days, they're not protests, they're riots.
Oh, absolutely.
They're organized riots at their best. And at their worst, they're full-on fire and brimstone riots. And the government cracking down on that is actually constitutional. It's written right in, peacefully assemble.
Yep.
But no, Lincoln, that great guy, literally used the federal army against protesters. For all the people like, Trump is going to send the army. Oh my God. Lincoln did that.
So
The emancipation. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're saying Trump is like Lincoln.
Trump is like Lincoln. The Emancipation Proclamation made a whole bunch of people in the North go, wait a minute. And there were riots in New York, and he sent federal troops in to break up the riots.
Yeah. There was another riot that Lincoln had to put down because back then you could buy your kid out of the draft.
Yes.
It's like $300. And all the rich people would just pay the federal government to not have their kid get drafted. And there were riots over that in several boroughs in New York.
Didn't even Washington have to quell rebellions?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There were a couple of them.
So the whole, the 1864 draft riots. Yep. I'm all for trying to get as close to the original ideals that were put down as possible, Jack.
It's a process, though.
We can sit there and say, hey, look, this can be better without going like it was in the past when it never was. Just saying.
In the good old days, before women's suffrage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
I almost brought up her video for this because there's one part where she's talking about it and talking about, the idea of America and where it comes from. And she says it has to start here. And she points to her chest for her heart. It's got to start in the heart.
No.
This is the problem with you ladies. Forming a government should not start in your heart. That shit should be in the brain.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
And even, metaphorically starting in the emotions. No. It should start in the brain, in the intelligence, in the logic, which is what the founders tried to do. And granted, they were horrible at carrying through on that shit, but there's nothing in there. There's nothing in the Constitution where like, I feel like you should have the ability to speak.
Yeah. No, but they did the best they could with what they had to work with, because they had to get a lot of different types of people on board with this. But they set it up so that slavery could be abolished. They had to make compromises.
The issue here is that the people are viewing history through a modern lens. I'm willing to bet that they don't know. A lot of this was not and is not taught in schools. For the record, nothing I've just said here was taught to me in school.
Yeah, that's the problem with the education system is they have an agenda, and that agenda is communism. So
Double Pup says, shut up, women. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, Chad.
No, and did she point out the fact that only property owners could vote? Because, I mean, that we're going back to that glorious past, right?
Several people have mentioned maybe she meant it starts in the boobs. No, she meant in the heart. She was doing that sincere woman thing. It starts here. It starts here. No, it should never start there. It should start in your brain.
In the valley between your boobs? What?
That just pissed me off so much. It should start here. No.
Nothing good comes from that. That's a stupid idea. No offense,
emotion and empathy are good things when they're properly contextualized, but it's something that I've seen my whole life, Jack. People are like, we gotta feel. No, we really don't. And that actually leads to a lot of really bad shit, because you turn off your fucking brain to go with how you feel. And if we all did that, I hate to say this, there'd be a lot more rape.
Oh yeah, well, that's how we got this restorative justice nonsense, because prisons are mean. So just say you're sorry and it makes everything better. And then everything's fine. And then there's no consequence, and the bad guys go do the bad guy stuff.
Yeah, when feelings lead to things like crimes of passion, Jack.
Yeah, murder. I thought you were cheating on me, so I murdered that guy. Dun, dun, dun.
We have to use our brains, not our emotions, not our feelings, because that's how bad shit happens.
Nothing more than
feelings.
Well, if you have a hunch about something, that you should impulsively act on it, right?
Right.
That's how that works. Oh, yeah, that's never backfired on anyone, with innocent people getting caught in the crossfire.
Feelings are for dealing with your friends and family, not for running a country.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
Anyway, shit. Did she do the Roman salute? No, she did not. On that, we're gonna wrap up here. We're just a little bit early tonight. But Jack, I was already in pain, and then me and Lady Monkey went out today. She kept telling me I didn't have to go out, but I had so much fun with her on our vacation. I need to spend more time with my wife, and so I've been trying to do that.
She's been trying to shake you off the entire time.
My daughter's going to be going to an amusement park soon, and we're going to watch the baby while they go. And the idea was floated that we could go and watch the baby there. And apparently my wife and daughter both agreed that even though I couldn't do it, I would probably ride the roller coasters. And I'm like, yeah, I probably would. Yeah,
that sounds like you.
You only get one go on this crazy little earth of ours. And you know what? I went to a virtual golf place, 2 years ago now, and it kicked my ass. You know what I'm planning on doing really soon? Going up to the driving range. It's probably going to kick my ass, but I really like golf. And
you have to get your body accustomed to getting out there again and actually doing stuff.
Ooh, Monkey loves his wife. Gay. Just remind you, one of my friends on Facebook, after I said something very sweet to my wife, once said to me, "You're the only man that can make loving his wife seem gay." And I'm like, you know what? That's okay. She smiles.
What was your friend named Nick Fuentes?
No.
I mean, because you two are adorable with your cuteness. It's
Yeah.
disgusting. Show off.
I know we discussed people with it, but I don't care because I'm happy.
That's the important thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Like, you're way happier than everybody complaining about it.
Monk, I love golf. Now we need to play Gimps on the course. Oh, that would be awesome. I love golf. I really do. It's so much
Oh my
fun.
God. If you and another Gimpy person do that, you have to dress up like Jimmy and Timmy.
Yes. I get to be which one's in the wheelchair because I don't want to walk it. Many of the yard sales we went to had golf clubs for sale today. And that really got my juices flowing. I just want to get out there and hit golf balls.
Like a sign from above, isn't it?
There is something magical about hitting the one wood and hearing the perfect tink as that ball just goes.
I didn't understand that sentence, so I'm taking your word for it.
Golfers know.
Ah.
When my brother was the first one who asked me if I wanted to go golfing, and at the time, I was like, golf, are you for real? And I was like, let's go out on the golf course and check it out. And it was like my second or third shot was just perfect. It's probably the best golf shot I've ever hit in my life. And I was hooked. I've been chasing that feeling ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight. If you have rich friends and family, bring them to the show and show them the donation links.
Yeah. Tell them we're charity cases.
Tell them we're a tax write-off. Don't promise them that, but because it's not true at all. But tell them that. You guys break the law. No, don't break the law for us. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Let your friends do it.
Get your friends and family in trouble for my wealth. Thank you guys for the donations. You guys are so kind to us. Jack, anything you want to show?
No, I got nothing. But thank you guys for the donations. You're awesome. Stay sexy, chat. You guys are cool.
And with that, nothing else to add. Take care. Love you. See you on the next one. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
If you're gonna break the law, do it to benefit me.